Did you find that fame helped heal any pains that you were going through, Liam Payne, or do you find that it was a hindrance? The industry itself, he says, is quite a hindrance. They promise you and give you pipe dreams that, yes, you'll be recognized. Yes, you will have all the fame and accolations you want, but it comes with a price. With everything you do and every choice you make, there's a consequence and a price, he says. He goes, the industry, they tend to exploit a lot of people. They bring you to the top. They make you feel excellent and seen and heard, but then you, either you can't stay at the top, he says, or it's like a sick game of exposure. And then when they feel that you're too big or too notable, or if you're like revealing their secrets, they try to knock you down off the pedestal. And I was getting more vocalized about stuff that was going to happen in the industry. I was actually going to expose what it was like to be in the industry so young. When you have fame, you kind of leave that age when you become famous. So I was 14. He said I was very, very young, trying to capacitize the fame. So and your privacy gets affected too. You can't do and just walk freely in public. You're scrutinized and judged for everything you do, he's saying. I feel judged. I feel judged. The press is brutal. And then they try to sell you stories of that artist. Don't read the magazines, I'm hearing. He's saying don't read any of the magazines, because the magazines oftentimes make up salacious stories, slander, he says. And what's the word, Liam, that you're trying to say? They bullshit a lot. There, because again, I'm trying not to swear on this channel, but yeah, he says they talk a lot of rubbish. There he goes, he's using British term. He goes, they talk a lot of rubbish, love. I'm like, of course, especially, and he goes, the Sun newspaper, and I said, yeah, we have the Toronto Star, but I said the Sun is quite brutal. And he goes, remember Freddie Mercury? I'm like, yeah, Freddie Mercury, they did the same thing when he was hiding scandals. They try to sensationalize the stories. And I said, what about drug use? Sorry, because sometimes as a channeler, I'll ask stuff internally. So Liam Payne, what about the drug use? And what about alcohol use? They feed you a lot of drugs and alcohol. You're left kind of like when you're finished performing, because you can't really go anywhere and do anything, because the fans are always going to chase you, and they want to keep the artist safe. Remember, when you're under contracts, he says, you're allowed to do certain things and not to do certain things. Like, for example, when we were in One Direction, we were not allowed to cut our hair a certain way or grow beards or do certain things under contract. So we were almost like